Hi gang, Kyle Kallander with this week's Big South Conference update. A special virtual spring meeting update this time around. We just concluded our meetings with our athletics directors, senior women administrators, faculty athletics representatives, and CEOs talking about a lot of issues very important to the conference. Of course, most of our dialogue was around COVID, the pandemic. How do we return to play? And we had great conversation and really great sharing of information, which is what I really appreciate about the Big South Conference is our people are always very honest and open in our dialogue. And so sharing this information is really helpful as we all consider how to get our student athletes back on campus and then more importantly, how to get them back onto the field. So we had Brian Haines, the NCAA Chief Medical Officer, visit with us on the latest on his action plans for resocialization of sport, which is very interesting and very helpful. And a lot of our conversation then turned to how can the conference help our institutions move forward? And we talk a lot about setting minimum standards around what are the experiences going to be for our visiting teams? What do we do in terms of sportsmanship issues such as shaking hands? What do we do around our game operations? What do we do with our facilities? Are there things that we can do a little bit differently as we move forward? And then of course, if we have game disruption, whether it's an institution or the full conference, how are those things handled? So not a lot of action out of those items, but a lot of great conversation. And over the course of the next month or so, expect to see more action from the conference. We then turned to NCAA matters, had great conversations with our chief executive officers about two huge decisions that are going to be made this coming year in the NCAA. Number one, name, image, and likeness, and the second one being transfers. We have our concerns in several of those areas. Certainly some of those recommendations we support, but again, great conversation, and we will be developing our formal positions on those areas in the coming months. Next, we took a look at how the efficiencies that we approved a couple of weeks ago apply realistically to our championships. So you know that most of our team championships are now reduced to 4 teams. A lot of our coaches have gotten together in the recent months and weeks and talked about what those formats look like. So we took a lot of action in terms of seeding and formats for those championships and how those will really impact our business moving forward. Lastly, as we always do at our annual meetings with our chief executive officers, we approved the FY21 budget, which, again, talking about our efficiencies that we talked about before, we have been able to find over $400,000 in savings that will result in direct distribution back to our institutions. And our chief executive officers approved an additional distribution to our members so that in the coming year we will distribute nearly $1.4 million to our members to help support their student athletes. So very productive meetings this week. I really appreciate the support and the ongoing leadership of our athletics administrators and our chief executive officers. It's been a great opportunity for us to visit with them, and we look forward to moving forward in that regard. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.